Hi Gemini, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol. And Gemini, this is going to be a general reading for November 2024. And in today's reading, we're going to be doing the Yellow Cardinal Cross. And it's something that I've done before on this channel. If you like it, you might be interested in getting a personal reading done with it. That's just one of, I think, about 6 or 7 readings that I have on my other channel and my website called Carol Cares. And there's going to be a link below in the description box and also in the comment section for personal readings if you're interested to have a look at that, what it's all about. And yeah, so yeah, let's get started with your reading. I'm going to be using the Tarot Grand Luxe, and I'm also going to be using the Tarot Vintage to clarify that. So let's start off with pulling 2 cards to look at. Here, I get to shuffle them again. We're going to, and these were already pre-shuffled. That's okay. Always can shuffle them again. So we're going to look at, we're going to take 2 cards, and I want to look at what issue or problem you're dealing with right now. So that's going to be our middle 2 cards. So let's, so that one flipped out. We got 1, and we got 2, I believe, that wanted to come out right away. Okay, so we have the 6 of Wands in reverse. And to clarify that, we have the 5 of Cups in reverse. Okay, that was quick. Now, what we're going to look at here on the left-hand side, it's my left hand, it's your right hand, but it's going to be the conscious influence on this. So it's going to be what you're aware of. So this is your issue, the problem, situation, pattern that you're dealing with. And so I need 1 card to tell us what you're consciously aware of regarding this situation that you're sitting in right now. One card turned into 3. So you have the Knight of Coins, which is the Knight of Pentacles. You have the 5 of Swords in reverse. And you have the 7 of Cups. All right, I might just get 1 clarifier for that. Now, what's the conscious influence on this? And by that I mean, what is sitting in your shadow? What's sitting in the unconscious that is coming up for healing, that is having or driving this? It's having the biggest impact on it right now. And so if you're unfamiliar with the term shadow or shadow work, I have left a really good video in my description box below called My Powerful 4-Step Guide to Shadow Work. And it's a video that's taken from my other channel called Carol Cares. And it really is a good description of how to face your own shadow. So you can have a look at that if you're interested in. So let's have 1 card right now for, oh wow, that's a lot of cards. Looks like I'm going to take them. So you have the 6 of Coins. This didn't happen in my other readings. The Temperance card. The 7 of 7, the Chariot in reverse, and the 5 of Cups in reverse. Oh, sorry, that I just pulled that from there. I picked it off the table, so that makes it 3. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I saw that there. It just, yeah. Okay, makes it 3. We're good. 4 is a bit much, but I was going to go with it. Okay, so at the top, I want what's needed for resolution. 1 card. Spitting out 3, I don't know why. 1 card, what is needed for resolution, and then we'll be clarifying these. All right, so you have the 8 of Coins, 8 of Pentacles at the top. And at the bottom, you had guidance from the Tarot. Okay, 1 card here. You have the King of Wands. All right, so pull those down so you can see them. I'm going to take the Tarot Vintage and we're going to clarify them. So let's start off with the middle. Let's clarify these 2, the 6 of Wands and the 5 of Cups, please. 1 or 2 cards to clarify. We have the Ace of Swords. And consciously, what are you aware of? Let's go with one card for that. No, you got two. You got the Magician. And you got the Seven of Swords in reverse. What are you unconsciously aware of? What's sitting in your shadow? What's impacting this? Let's go with one card for that. That one wants to come out. If I can't shuffle it back in, it wants to come out. You have the Nine of Swords here in reverse. And so at the top, what's needed for resolution here for you, Gemini? You have the Ten of Swords in reverse. And one more. You have the Six of Wands. At the bottom, can you tell me some more about this King of Wands here, one or two? Which is the advice from the tarot. Tower in reverse. And one more. Tell me more maybe about this Tower. The Six of Wands. Cups. Was I thinking? Okay. We're going to start off with your overriding energy. And it is the Page of Swords in reverse. And where does that come from, this card? Well, in January 2024, I did a yearly reading for you. And it's in my description box if you are interested. And I pulled out 12 cards. And for this month, I pulled the Page of Swords. And the pages in my deck are our inner children. And I know that you know, most of us have heard about the inner child. And, you know, mainstream psychology likes to say that we just have one. But I've been on my own healing journey for my own complex trauma for about 7.5 years intensively. And I work with a trauma coach. And I found out that I have more than one inner child. So definitely this, you know, when I sat down and I started learning my tarot and how it relates to my own healing and that I'm doing. And yeah, the pages came out as our inner children. So this inner child, this Page of Swords, is a child about 4, 5, 6 years old. And it, believe it or not, when we were that young, we knew who we were. We knew what direction we were supposed to go in. And so this is the inner child that holds your sword. It holds your truth, your authenticity, and who you are. But it's in reverse here. When our inner children show up in my readings, it means that they need healing. Oftentimes it means that, you know, there's a lot of grieving. They hold a lot of our heavy emotions like grieving and shame. And when they're in reverse, it means they're blocked, which means, you know, we don't hear them because our inner children need to be listened to. They need to be heard. We need to take time out to listen to them. And so this particular child that's coming out for you this month is one that holds your truth, your authenticity, who you are, and wants to get into contact with you and wants to talk to you about that. And oftentimes we can get in touch with our inner children through journaling. And journaling has been my #1 tool that I use to get in touch with my own inner children. So we'll see how that comes into play for this reading. So we're going to start off with what problem, issue, situation, pattern you're dealing with right now. And you start off with the Six of Wands in reverse with the Five of Cups there coming in as a clarifier for it, or maybe obscuring it. And it looks like it might be obscuring it, but the Six of Wands is in an upright position. It's a victory card, you know, but my sixes have a duality to them. So it's like, okay, on the outside, you see something, but really what we need to look at is what the opposite side of it is, And so the Six of Wands talks about, we see this victory wreath right here, and we see someone that's, come back. He's staked his claim here. He's won. He has maybe won a battle, but on the outside, on the outside, it's like we need to look at what's lost, because we see that this is what's won and this is what's lost. And so oftentimes when we speak of loss, we speak of, look at this individual here. Very much focused on what they have lost, right? This is the card that clarifies this one. And so this tells me, because it's in reverse, there is a real resistance to feeling what has been lost, and this individual is very much focused on it. And when one way that we can resist focusing on it is to become sort of stuck in this pattern of really focusing on those 3 cups that have been lost. So maybe you're sitting in a lot of depression, a lot of hopelessness. I call it futility. And it's my word when I just feel like, why bother? Nothing matters, And I do a lot of my journaling from why bother? Nothing matters, and why bother doing this? In fact, I'm not going to lie to you. I sat down when I went to do my readings today. I had to sit down and write from that. Why bother? No one listens to me. Because this is just something that I have, my whole childhood was about why bother, no one. And at that time, I had nobody, and nobody was listening to me, and nobody did care. But, and so when it comes up for me now, I recognize that that is the past speaking to me, and it's coming through here in my adult life, and the same thing is coming through for you. And it's very interesting here, because what's sitting right behind this, and we talked about this inner child of yours, this inner child that's sitting inside of you, that's wanting to get to your truth. Well, look what you have here. Look what's coming out here right here is an offer on the table. It's the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords, whenever an ace comes up, it's like this offer that comes from nowhere. It comes from the universe. It's a gift, and it wants you to take it. It's like, here's another chance. Here's another chance to find out who you really are. Because when we're stuck in this, whatever it is that we're sitting here, this hopelessness, a lot of times there could be a lot of shame behind that. There could be grief behind that. When we get ourselves stuck in that, we don't see the other side. We don't see that there's another side to this, and the universe is saying, listen, I want you to see this. We have to get to the other side of this, because you're stuck in this, right? And so here's this offer on the table here to maybe get in touch with this inner child that knows your truth, right? The sword's the truth. And so what are you consciously aware of? What's coming up here that you're consciously aware of? And you got 3 cards here in a row. So I'm going to look at these first of all. So you have the Knight of Pentacles, and the 5 of Swords in reverse, and the 7 of Cups. Wow. Okay, so the Knight of Pentacles here. The Knights in my deck are what I call my freedom fighters. They are that part of you that wants freedom. There is a huge part of you that wants freedom from this futility, this hopelessness, this shit that you're sitting in right now. There's a huge part of you that wants to take you, that wants to get out of this. And when it's reverse, my Knights, if they're in reverse, they're sitting in a lot of hopelessness, because it's a part of you, like an adolescent part of you, and everybody has this part where they want the freedom to be themselves. They want the freedom to be able to do what they want to do. And this is the Pentacle, and the Pentacle is about the body. And so there's very much a part of you that wants this freedom, to be free of this, free from this, this hopelessness that you're sitting in right now. And then you get the 5 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords, it's in reverse, but in an upright position, the 5 of Swords speaks about I call this my bullying card. Here's this individual right here, this main individual on the card he's the bully. He's won this fight and he's so proud of himself. But, you know, there's some real loss in this card as well. There's this individual here in the bottom corner here, and he's, you know, normally like in the Rider-Waite deck, he has his hand on his face, and it's just, he's so full of shame. It's just, he's beaten down, you know, he's been beaten down all his life, so full of shame. And then you have the Seven of Cups here. And you know, the Seven of Cups is a card of this beautiful rainbow scene with this castle and all these cups on offer, these golden cups. I mean, it looks absolutely gorgeous. It reminds you a bit of Disney World if you've been there. But it's just like you see all that you picture all this and you're kind of trying to grasp onto it. It's like the outer world, and you're always looking out there trying to find a solution here to your situation. Trying to find a solution to your situation in the outer world, right? This is what you're trying to get out of this, and you're always looking at something, trying to find like, what can help me? What can I do here? But the Magician card comes next here, and you know, this is what you're consciously aware of. And I think you're aware that this battle that you're in right now, is not an outside world solution. It's got to be an inward one. And the Magician card is that one that comes up here, and it says, you know, the Magician says you have everything in you to battle this. You have everything in you to get out of this. And I think you're consciously aware of that. You are aware of this is going to be an inward job. It's an inward journey. And that's what the Magician tells us. And I was told that in the beginning of my own journey, that I had all the answers and everything inside of me. And that's the last thing I wanted to hear. But it's true. And then you get the Seven of Swords here in reverse. And the Seven of Swords speaks about this individual who has run away with all these swords. He's stolen them. It's called the Thief card. And what are swords? Swords are our mental thoughts. They're our mental energy. It's things that we've been told. We repeat to ourselves often. And these are the things, so you have all these mental thoughts spinning in your head that people have told you about yourself in reverse here. And so I'm not quite convinced that you haven't taken the time to realize that these thoughts that you're telling yourself about yourself here that are keeping you in this position right here, you aren't aware that they're not your own thoughts. There's someone else gave them to you. This is a Thief card. He's stolen these. These thoughts that you have spinning in your head about yourself, maybe this shame, this unworthiness that you're spinning, this is not you. And yet you've got yourself stuck in this position where you believe it's you. Because when you are sitting in that futility where there's no way out of this, there is a way out. I know you don't want to hear this. But this futility and this hopelessness that you're sitting in, it's not about now. It's about when you were a child. It's about this little inner child right here. They know your truth. They know. And yeah, you might have been in that, you were in that position when you were younger, but you can get out of it now because you're an adult. And so what's coming up from your unconscious? What's coming up from your shadow that needs healing, that you've repressed when you were younger, that you've pushed down, that is having a huge impact on your situation you're sitting in right now because it needs healing? You start off with the Six of Coins. And the Six of Coins is the card about, did I talk about it already? The Six of Pentacles. And again, the sixes have a duality to them, like I said. So this particular one talks about this individual, you know, weighing out here, because this is a scale, a balance scale here. On this side, I'm going to give, 3 coins, because this beggar, the Rider-Waite deck talks about a beggar putting out their hand and asking for, and I think I'm worth 3 coins, and so I'm going to give you 3 coins. And so they're balancing out what, each beggar is worth. And this, because it's a duality, this card talks about giving and receiving. And so there's a huge part here that if you believe that you are worth something, that is what you're going to receive. And so sitting here in your shadow is that where you've been taught when you were younger that, you were taught to believe that you were worth nothing because that's what you received from people, right? That's what you received from people when you were younger. Then you have the Temperance card, and it talks to me that this was over a period of time, because Temperance speaks about sort of like it's a process, and this is over a period of time where you were told, it wasn't just once or it wasn't just twice, but it was a period of time where you felt unworthy, and people told you that you were unworthy, and they showed you that you were unworthy, and so you started to believe it, right? The Chariot card here comes in right after this, and the Chariot talks about that the will of this charioteer that's driving these two, that's trying to control these two horses. And so very much you are in a position where you couldn't control. You see, this talks about controlling your environment, your situation, and you could not control. You had no control over your environment when you were younger, and people telling you that you were very unworthy. And that's where this sense of this shame comes from, this unworthiness that you're really, these 3 of Cups that you're sitting in right now talks about a lot about your unworthiness. And what's coming up from your shadow, from your unconscious, is this 9 of Swords at the end to clarify it. The 9 of Swords speaks often of, in an upright position, it speaks often of this individual that's being woken up in the middle of the night, that's battling these demons, these nightmares. Pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to your nightmares. They tell you a lot. There's little tidbits in here that they can tell you. But I'm seeing here that this is you. And what it's telling me is that when you are up at night a lot, and when you are in your head a lot and spinning and can't fall asleep, that always tells me that there's a memory that's coming up, or there's emotions that are rising to the surface. And this seems to be you right now, but you're trying to not look at it. You're trying to block it out. You don't want to look at these things that, the universe has a way of communicating to us. Our inner children have a way of communicating to us. There's something coming up here for you. There's something brewing, and yet you're sitting here and you don't want to feel any of this, and you're stuck on these 3 cups when there's this whole other side here of your truth that wants to come out here. And so what's needed for resolution for you? Well, you have the 8 of Coins here. And what's needed for resolution is there's this whole question of, which is quite interesting, is here's this individual. Here's this individual that is really passionate about what they're doing. And it's like the universe wants to bring you something that's going to make you passionate about, that's going to bring you feeling alive. So there's you need more passion in your life. You need something that is just going to wake you up. That's going to wake you up out of this stuckness that you're in, this hopelessness that you're feeling. So the universe says, well, you need something. You need some sort of interest here. You need something that's going to bring you some real, maybe some even joy, that you feel passionate about doing. Here's the 10 of Cups here. It's the 10 of Cups in an upright position to clarify this 8 of Pentacles. This talks about, at the end of a cycle here, these swords that you have been, these swords that you have been telling yourself. And we talked about, you have the 9 of Swords here. You have a lot of swords. You have the 9 of Swords. You have the 10 of Swords. You have the Ace of Swords. You have the 7 of Swords. And those cards all came from the same deck as clarifiers. So that tells me that you have a lot of mental energy up in your head kind of stuff where, you know, and these swords, this energy that's spinning in your head, it has to die. It's got to go. It has to die. And the way that it has to go is we got to get back in our bodies and we got to feel some of this stuff, right? And this is the card that tells us what we need to feel and what we need to do. So what's needed for resolution, we have the Six of Wands. And like I said, the sixes are a duality card. And here it is again, where you have, it's the second time you've seen the Six of Wands. Here's the guy coming from, back from, you know, he's won something. This is a victory march here. And again, what's under that green blanket? Let's pull that blanket away and see what we've lost, right? Because it's a duality card. So we've lost, and this is the grief. What have you lost? What did you lose when you were younger? You know, what did you lose when you were younger? This is the stuff that you need to grieve. It's time to get in touch with your grief. It's time to get in touch with your grief. And I said earlier that these little pages of ours, these inner children, will carry grief and shame. We talked about unworthiness, and we talked about shame in this, and we talked about grief in this reading, and shame as well. And so this is what needs to happen. There's a real inner part of you, a child, that needs to grieve their losses. And I'm sensing here that there's something here with this Eight of Coins, this Pentacles, that's right behind it for you. Something that you're going to be, something's going to pique your interest once you get over this. And so the King of Wands, as guidance from the tarot comes out. The King of Wands is our masculine side. We have a masculine side and we have a feminine side. Doesn't matter what gender you are. Our masculine side is our ego self. You know, it's what the things that we tell ourselves in our head. And this king comes out. This king's coming out right here. And the guidance from the tarot says, you know, your ego self, when you start to want to heal this, when you start to really get in touch with who you are and ground into your body and start to feel some of this grief, this king is going to come out and it's going to block you. It's going to block you from going into the direction that you want to go, you know? It's going to block you from going to that Eight of Pentacles if you want. And here's the Tower card here. And when the Tower card comes out, and it's in reverse here. And so, to me, when it's in reverse, I mean, when it's in an upright position, it talks about like a major, huge change in our life. Something happens, you know, a huge, like a life-changing circumstance that happens. It doesn't come out a lot, but when it's in reverse, it kind of tells us that, you know, this is kind of like a last red flag, because maybe you've been sitting in this for a while, you know, and this is like this card comes out, and this is the guidance from the tarot. So the guidance is like, this is a last red flag here. This is the last red flag. And what's the Six of Cups is your last card. It's the one right after the Tower here in reverse. Well, the Six of Cups is this relationship. See this relationship, this older child, you know, sharing their cup with a younger child, right? This is a six, so it's like a giving and a receiving duality here. You know, what you give, you receive. What you receive, you give. We talked about this page here as your overriding energy. This card is a inner child card. This is my inner child card, Six of Cups. These are inner children, and so is this one. And this one says, you know, it's time now, in order for you to get in touch with, you know, who you really are. This little page here, who you really are. It's time for you to start to listen to your inner child. It's time for you to start to give them a voice. What do they need to tell you? What do they want to tell you about who you are? You know, they need to grieve. They need to grieve. They want to tell you what happened to them. They need to grieve. This is a beautiful reading for you. Beautiful reading for you, Gemini. I'm going to leave you with a playlist. I have a couple of videos on grieving. I want you to really and I want you to, when I get in touch with my own inner children, I journal. I journal to them a lot. And so I want to give you some writing prompts about, how you get in touch with your. I'm going to give you some writing prompts for depression and hopelessness and what I call futility. And that's going to help you. If you start to write from those writing prompts that I'm going to give you, that's going to get you in touch with that child of yours and what they're feeling. Because when you're writing, your inner child is going to talk. And they're going to tell you what they're feeling. And that's going to get in touch with that grief that needs to come out. All right? So I want you to have compassion for what you're working through right now. This journey is a very difficult journey, the healing journey, but it's the most important journey of your life. So take care, Gemini, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.